If your government thinks that free speech is a threat to democracy, then you live in a dictatorship.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opening line, and you point out that it applies to countries all over the Western world, whether they are parliamentary democracies or constitutional monarchies or republics. This seems connected with the COVID, with the last 2 years. We've now got a disinformation governance board that Joe Biden has started up. We've got the online harms bill in the UK. In Oz, you have your own issues, because whatever it is, Section 17 that I've spoken about down under that constrains free speech. Why do you think they're so anxious to actually double down on this bogus concept of disinformation?
We've actually got more than that section now. We've got a whole draft of bill coming in to restrict what we say online. But why they're doing it is because of corporate risk. With vaccines, they made a massive decision to force the population to take a medication that could harm them. Now, vaccine manufacturers are one of the only producers in the world that are allowed to make a product with fatal side effects, and that's okay. They can't sell you a faulty product that kills you, but they can sell you a product with a known fatal side effect. And so as part of that, it's always been vaccines are voluntary. That's the risk that you take. That's the wager they make with you. But when the governments around the world said, no, we're going to mandate it, or we're going to make your life absolutely a miserable hell unless you agree to it, well, that took away genuine consumer choice with vaccines. And so when the complaints started pouring in, it wasn't just a threat to the billions of profits that are being made by various vaccine companies. It became a political threat to the careers of all of our politicians who pretty much legislated this harm. And what's going to happen is if they manage to prove, or if it comes out that free speech online starts pouring in all these adverse side effects and all this disgruntlement from the civilians in the West, well, then it's going to result in massive compensation cases. It's going to result in class action suits against the government. And there's not a few thousand people. There's millions of people who lost their jobs, lost their friends, lost their lives. It is an enormous political problem, not just for Australia, not just for the UK, but globally, because it was a global error. It's a huge problem. It will be bigger than tobacco fallout. It's a nightmare. And that's why they're trying to stop us from talking to each other and stop us from sharing our stories.